There you go. What was that? So now we've got technically 5 of 55 done. We're 1/11 of the way done. The water is actively dripping right now because it's a torrential downpour. No, we gotta cut it out. All right, it's another day.
It is another day.
Another day. We've actually already been here for a few hours. We just now picked up the camera because we've got some stuff to talk about. But basically, what Dean has been working on is the slope of the drain from these totes to the back wall. And the problems we've run into is the floor kind of does this in some spots.
A little bit. It's a little wavy. Not a lot, but just enough to throw it off. So if we went with a continuous difference, we might have water trying to run uphill.
Because we were... you could do, there's 12 totes. We need to drop it by 1/4 of an inch every tote. It'll be fine, but it doesn't work as easy. We had to use lasers. We use string. We use a lot of this. And so now I've been tasked with doing all the cuts. So the way this works is every tote is going to back up to another one. So what does that mean? That means this right here.
This one will come in right here.
Yeah. So you see it's on this end here. Then it's that one. So we have to connect into the same pipe going down basically 2 times. And so what that means is, like in this cut, the piece of pipe I have to cut is 2 7/8, but the one that will go right here, which is going to be actually for this tote, has to be 1/8 of an inch longer. So I'm going to make a lot of cuts. This one, goes from 3 1/8 to 3 3/16.
Right. So that means the floor is coming up just a slight amount there.
Then I can't be more than a 1/16 of an inch off or it's not going to work. And that's a very precise cut for a PVC cutter or a saw. We've got a few hours of work ahead.
And if you think about this, one of the things that you haven't even thought about yet is when we glue this up, we have to glue in 2 directions at once.
It's got to be perfect. All right, so I grabbed the camera just to document before we get too far in. This is the process of how we're doing it. We basically glue in every other one, and then we come back and glue the one in between. And if we've lined everything up, it will settle into place just right.
And if we didn't, what'll happen?
A little bit of crying and swearing. Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of, no, we gotta cut it out. So far, we've been measuring once, cutting 26 times.
So it's a little bit messy.
Look how much glue's on there. Jeez.
A little bit messy with the glue.
Yeah, a little bit, he says.
But I have to keep it wet while I'm doing this part.
Yep. It's hard with a one-person job when someone's got the camera. There you go.
And I gotta hold that up, right?
Yeah, just hold it for like another hour, Dean.
No.
There you go. What was that?
That was the tape popping off.
Okay. So now we've got technically 5 of 55 done. We're 1/11 of the way done.
55? No, we've already got a whole row over there.
Well, that's true. That's true. So that makes...
And technically
that makes 12 of 55.
This row is in place.
It's in place. It just isn't plumbed. All right. Setting the camera back down.
All right,
I got to cut more stuff. All right. We're back at it. Working on this row. And by we, I mean Dean. He's been getting all the parts ready. I've been doing lots of cleanup, and now we're enacting my genius plan of putting the lights up. So my thought was, if we use the center of the totes with the laser, it will give us a perfect line to laser and put the light to light the tote. So you can see up on the ceiling, like the lights to the right, we were off by 6 inches or whatever. And so now I can go put them in exactly right. And I'm going to do that on every single row. And then I'll do it for this row as well. So we'll have perfectly centered lighting in the totes. So this $45 laser that we got on Amazon has been amazing. It's been clutch in everything we've done. And we have fight over it, really, because we're using it on everything. In the other room, I've got my uncle the plumber putting in our new water heater and some plumbing that eventually we're getting the sink going. So doing double duty on this Saturday. Look how sweet it is. Did you make it?
I switched it.
So you can see now each light is on the laser trail. Dean was just talking about the temperature controller we're going to use.
Oh, they did put it on yours.
Okay, the K500 from Haas Manufacturing. I'm zooming in on that because people are going to ask. Someone's going to be like, I want one of those. This thing was like, I think it was like $1,200.
They're about $1,200.
It was not cheap.
But the cool thing is, once we've got water hooked up to it, then your water comes out of here to the tanks. This is digital readout, so you can adjust the temperature 1 degree at a time.
Yep.
Actually, it's 1/10 of a degree at a time.
Nice.
It will check the temperature, I think it's 60 times a second. You can set a timer. So, okay, I want those to change for an hour. You can also set it to auto shut off. And you can also adjust the amount of flow if you want to. We won't have that problem, but
the flow thing could be real useful if you were just trying to run one run to a few tanks.
Or yeah, one to a couple tanks, or even just to one tank. I do that in my fish room when I want to do just one tank.
Yeah.
I turn the flow down to 30% and just...
Because you've got that little thing you hang on it too.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
And I think we'll probably end up running this. We'll leave it on all the time and use timers for the most part.
All right, we got to get back to work. When we were touching it, I was like, no one's seen this thing yet. We've talked about it. You've got one in your fish room.
Yeah.
But, yeah, a little gadget that hopefully, once water's in today or tomorrow, we'll be able to start really installing that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the next. When we finish water leaving, then we can work on water entering the totes.
So, Cory, we got this giant fish room here. Do we have any bills to pay on this?
Oh, we definitely have bills.
I think we just spent $2,200 on parts today.
Oh, I don't want to hear it.
We don't want to hear it?
A lot of plumbing, a lot of...
So here's a good bill payer. The black airline tubing is now in bulk.
Yep, 300
and
feet.
This is the good stuff. Food grade. You know, you could... I actually got something.
There you go.
So, you know, it's food grade. It's super flexible. Comes in a roll. And this is like 300 feet. So how many packages is that?
Oh, geez. 300 divided by 25, so it's 12 packages.
12 packs, and you get a whole 300 feet. That's... Buy this.
It's nice to have around, and we're using it.
Happens to go really good with these air valves that we're going to be using.
Yep, we're installing those next.
And they come out looking like this. We're going to tap them into these holes, hook the airline tube up, and hopefully it bubbles in the tanks eventually.
And where can you find these products, Dean?
Right here at Aquariumcoop.com. If you happen to be local to Seattle, there's a shop in Edmonds.
His voice got high.
Now back to the show.
There you go. We're actually putting air behind all these tanks.
Yep.
We've decided on the height. We're just going to follow this one seam in the wood. We're going to use these little clips to hold it up.
By the way, these clips, sometimes people ask me, they're made for electrical.
Yes.
You get them in the electrical section.
And actually, if you get the 1-inch ones, they work on 1-inch pipe.
And I like the plastic ones more than the metal ones.
Why? Because they don't corrode.
Yep.
We're going to use those. We're actually going to use the Aquarium Co-op metal air valves.
Yep.
And we'll be putting in a commercial for these because we want to get these in a bulk pack. I don't think that's going to be possible.
Not yet, anyway.
But great valves, and they're in stock.
So I'll address this because this is my product. The reason we don't have it in bulk is when we go, hey, what about a 50-pack? The supplier goes, same price. And then we're like,
okay.
Well, then we got to carry 50 packs and 5 packs. We may as well just do 5 packs for now and see how popular they are. And then if they're really crazy popular, we'll have to bring in bigger packs.
Or you just say, okay, if you buy 50, you get a discount.
Yeah, we'll figure
it's the same price. So.
Yeah, we don't get any discount yet, so, you know.
So I've gone through and I've drilled all the holes.
Yep.
I use the 3/16 inch drill. It's very common size. Any hardware store has it. Most of your kits have it, 3/16. And I put these in using my drill. So I take the valve, just push it in there. Always turn the thing sideways. And so now it's chucked in the drill. I go down to my hole. Go on low speed. And you don't want to strip it out. That's key.
You go too much, you spin it right out. Now you got to cut it out and glue in a new piece.
And now I reverse the drill, hold really tight on the chuck, and it's in there.
Yep. And now you've got an installed valve, no silicone, nothing else,
Nothing.
just straight in. And the trick is 3/16 drill bit, and don't go wobbly when you're drilling. Don't aug it out or anything.
Nope.
Just straight down.
Straight down.
And then when you're putting that in, again, even pressure, straight down.
Right.
It'll be good.
So one thing you notice that they're not all lined up.
Right.
I go in with a pair of pliers after I put them all in.
Yep, you can get them to
Line
where
them
they're like exactly the way you want to be. You can tweak this one. Like, that's too hard. You need a pair of pliers to get it. If Jimmy's not here, no one films me doing any work. So
Right.
it's just me filming Dean, and Dean doesn't film, but I got to go work on the totes, so I'm going to do that.
Several bad puns later.
All right, so here's what I've been doing. I've been cutting the black PVC, and we're making the overflows. So I've made my two. I've got it as tight as it'll go. I wanted the water level a little bit lower in this tote, so it sits down about 2 3/4 inches. The only place I've ever run into problems is potentially a fish can hop from here to here. And so I wanted to go down a little bit more than I currently keep ponds, a little bit. And then I also make sure if you have guppies here, don't put guppies here, right? So if there is a hop, it's not the end of the world, you don't ruin the line. I've made 2, now I gotta make 53 more. And take about a minute each. So the next hour, if I move fast, I can get these done.
72 hours later.
All right, so now every tote has a overflow installed. That means I think I had to do 49 of them because we don't have the other 6 totes from my fish room yet. Dean is at a point where we have the line run. And it looks white and looks terrible right now, but once we put the tanks in and the backgrounds, you won't be able to see it because you'll see this essentially.
Yeah.
And we tied in down low where we're gonna put our air pumps, which normally I put them up at the ceiling, but I'm gonna try and make it as quiet as I can back in this corner. And it's the place we had to put them. And going for aesthetics since everything's on camera.
Of course.
I think it came out pretty good so far. This is where each little line on the table is where each tank will sit. And so we wanted to make sure that we had the right measurement. What did we end up with?
37.
Perfect. I went up with 36. We got 37.
Yep.
It's almost like we planned that. What I didn't plan is taking forever to get my skylights, and water is actively dripping right now because it's a torrential downpour. It's 11 o'clock at night. You would tell yourself, Cory, why wouldn't you tarp that off? Oh, we did. And then we had a horrible storm, and it blew off the cinder blocks and the tarp. And it's a metal roof, so you can't just, nail it in. And every day I harass people, and they say, don't worry, we'll be out tomorrow. And guess what? It's been 2 weeks, and it's still leaking. And but rest assured, they said tomorrow and Saturday. So, I do have another roofer on it now, and so either way, that leak should get fixed tomorrow, I hope, because this is getting ridiculous. It's actually building up water in the tote. So, all right, I actually did something for myself. I put in the door handle. So now the closet opens and closes. Yesterday they installed the first part of the new fiber line. So that's in, but there's another box to come in and all of that. So for now, what is this? Creaky door. The custom runners showed up. I wanted to test one, so now we have this green and natural color runner, which it looks pretty bright on camera, but I think it'll come together with the sides and everything. You can see many trips to the store has happened for extra parts, shipping them in, all that kind of stuff, just to make sure we hopefully don't have to go to the hardware store mid-build on a day. The tables have been leveled. We have screwed them together with plates. Let's see if I can show the plates. Yep, the plates so that they won't separate. They're super strong. Leveling took a long time because the floor just waves the whole way. So lots of time spent there. The drains for the tanks are going to sit here, but then also right between the legs, we're going to have it so we can drain water, change water. So it's a multi-step thing. We've got basically every table laid out. and then we got to put each drain inside of it, which needs exact measurements considering we haven't drilled the tanks yet. 10:28, and we're just wrapping up, packing up the last things. We've got all of the drains in for the 40 breeders. We've also put in drains for gravel vacuum, which is right here, and that happens in between every set of legs. We also built the jig so that next time we're here, we'll be working on water lines to fill in, and then drilling the 40 breeders with a diamond hole saw to put in these bad boys that we're gonna make. And this is the overflow that allow the water to go out of these, which will flow into these back here, which you won't see because there'll be tanks in front of them. Then we got to glue in the backgrounds, and you know, we're getting a lot closer. So all right, we're wrapping it up. We got the Popeyes for lunch early, or dinner, sending Dean home with another chicken sandwich. We just got to grab the tools and we're out.